Have you attempted a map rating assessment and failed because the instructions were simply too bulky and confusing? Maybe you understood relevance, maybe the viewport rules confused you, or maybe you thought a pin was perfect just to discover that it had been wrong or it was rated approximate, next, or completely wrong. I understand that frustration because I've been taking these assessments for a while and I recently took the Lightspeed assessment and I passed it. When you check out the comment section of YouTube videos, TikTok, Facebook, and the likes, one thing is common. People are always after getting the answers to Lightspeed or Milky Way or any other project as the case may be. And you have to understand that this project is not only offered by OneForma, it is also offered by the likes of Telos, it is offered by TriRating and Peroptics as well. The biggest problem with map evaluation is not necessarily that the work is difficult. The problem is that the original instructions are too long, they are technical, and they are filled with rules that are easy to forget when you are taking an assessment. So you may read hundreds of pages and still become confused when you see the actual questions, right? So you start asking yourself questions like, okay, should you follow the user's location or the viewport? Is the result excellent? Is it good? Is the pin in the parking lot perfect? Is it approximate as the case may be? So these little decisions actually impact your score. So you have to be careful when taking such assessments. When I prepared for the Lightspeed assessment, I realized that reading the instructions alone was not enough. I needed to break the rules down into something simple and practical. I had to understand why one result was better than the other, why one was highly satisfying, why one was satisfying, while one was not satisfying. So these were some of the things I had to consider. I stopped memorizing the answers and I started understanding the rating logic. So the moment you understand this, everything becomes clearer, and this approach is definitely going to help you pass. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please give this video a like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and also turn on your notifications. If you've done that, let's explain what map evaluation simply is. Now, map evaluation normally begins with just one simple question. What is the user actually looking for? That is what you are doing. You're putting yourself in the position of the user. You are making a research on behalf of the user to know what the user is looking for. You have to see through the user's eyes. Okay, so the query may contain an explicit location. That is, by explicit location, I'm talking about a location that is obvious. Okay, for instance, now you can say something like restaurants in Manchester. In that case, the location intent there is Manchester. That is the location. But if the query just says something like restaurants, then you have to consider the physical location of the user. You have to look at the map viewport and you have to consider whether that viewport is fresh or stale. All of these are written in the guidelines. Now, a fresh viewport that is located away from the user usually indicates that the person intentionally moved the map and wants results within that area. Okay, now a still viewport on the other hand usually carries less weight than the user's current location. So if you understand this distinction, it can prevent a lot of avoidable mistakes on your part. The next thing is the relevance. So when you are reading the relevance, you have to understand that we have the navigational, we have the excellent, we have the good, we have acceptable, and we have bad. There's a formula I use in memorizing this, like what each of them stands for, what they function as, and you can come up with yours as well. Okay, so for the navigational results under relevance rating, your navigational result is usually a single specific place that the user clearly wants. So if you say something like the Eiffel Tower, for instance, now you know that it is in Paris. Anybody who hears the Eiffel Tower knows it's in Paris. So you understand that, okay, this single location is what the user is looking for. And it becomes a navigational query, okay? So when someone searches for a particular business name or location, that exact branch is navigational. Now, on the other hand, an excellent result usually satisfies the user's request without any meaningful problem. Okay, what this means is think of it in terms of degrees of separation. If you've done the light speed assessment, or let's assume you've gone through the light speed assessment, there are degrees of separation. So by degrees of separation, you have to think critically. does this fully satisfy the user's intent? If it does, you say, okay, yes, this is navigational. If the stuff is excellent, if you see it's an excellent prompt, then or an excellent query, then let's assume you search for Starbucks. Now you know that Starbucks has a lot of um, um, places. They have different branches. So if the user is looking for Starbucks, and Starbucks, it gives the user a location where Starbucks is, then it is an excellent choice because you are looking for Starbucks. You know that Starbucks is everywhere and it gives you that exact stuff. So it is excellent. Then a good result may still be helpful, but something prevents it from being excellent. Okay, so there could be a mismatch, maybe the user intent mismatch. There could be a longer distance from maybe the place is far from the user, or um, maybe better results is available than what is offered. Okay, so let's assume you're searching for a pharmacy. This is under good, by the way. Let's assume you or the user rather is searching for a pharmacy, and then you receive a supermarket that contains a pharmacy, right? Then that result is useful, but a nearby pharmacy would actually satisfy the intent better. So that one is good, okay? A result is acceptable when it is technically related, but it provides weak satisfaction for the user. So that is when you can say, okay, this result is acceptable. Then bad, obviously. Imagine you're asking for Starbucks and you are receiving a query, or you're receiving a result that shows Dell computers. So you can't use that. You can't use Dell computers. Starbucks and Dell computers have no relationship whatsoever. So that is a bad result. Now, under the Milky Way project, there are other things like the pin accuracy, where you have to talk about a perfect pin, approximate, next door, wrong pin, etc., etc. And then you have the address and business information, where you have to confirm the address of the query or the result, whatever it is you're looking for, the user is looking for. And I know how frustrating the original instructions can be when you have to read these documents. I mean, Milky Way as a whole has 278 pages. If you want to read the book, it has 278 pages of instructions, examples, and the likes, while Lightspeed manual has about 99 pages. I understand this frustration, so I created the Maps Evaluation Beginner Handbook for both the Lightspeed and the Milky Way projects. Now, these are two separate files. The Lightspeed project is a 30-page summary, and I included some real examples from the exam as to serve as a foundational knowledge for most people, anyone who buys the files, the documents. And the thing is, the Milky Way is just an 18-page summary. It's not just a summary, it's a practical guide. It tells you exactly what to do for each scenario. Okay. So it covers the user intent, it covers the user location and viewport rules, it covers the navigational queries with examples, it covers the relevance ratings, it covers the difference between excellent, good, acceptable, and bad. It talks about the business names and the categories. I also talk about the address accuracy, pin accuracy, and some common mistakes and practical examples, like I said earlier. So the guide is useful for anyone who is preparing for map rating assessments, anything. Maybe you're working with OneForma, you're working with Telos, you're working with Try Rating or Peroptics. So I just need to know to let you know that this is not some kind of holy grail or a magic answer sheet. It is actually designed to help you understand the rules so that you can make better decisions independently. And I would like to say something here as well. Okay, so I'm going to advise that you get these compact guides and learn to take it for yourself. Now, if you know how to take it for yourself, then you'd go a long way. Of course, it's still okay if you want to give the account out to someone to manage for you, but you have to understand that taking the assessment is also a 50-50 chance. Okay, so there's an 80% guarantee of you passing. That is definitely for sure. There's an 80% chance of you passing the exam. And I think it is better if you do it yourself compared to giving it to others. Or if you want to give your account to any person to pass for you, you can also hop on the same call with the person. You can share your screen with the person. So you learn the person's thought process. You know why the person is choosing the answers they are choosing. And you need to know that if you live in the UK, you live in the US, you live in any European country, and you are taking this one form assessment, even if you fail the exams, you can delete your account, you can delete your one former account and open a new account. But what you would have to do is you would have to open a new email address. So, guys, if you have failed before, if you have become confused by the long instructions, or you are preparing to attempt a map assessment, then these guides can be your final stop before you try again. The purchase link is in the description, and I've also pinned them in the comment section. Do not enter your next assessment depending on guesswork. Please don't do that. You have to learn the logic behind the ratings. You have to understand the common traps, and you have to approach each question with greater confidence. So, please feel free to comment below and tell me which part of map evaluation confuses you the most. If it is the relevance, if it is the viewport rules, and also remember to subscribe. And I will continue sharing genuine information about AI training jobs, about assessments and remote work opportunities. I passed Lightspeed assessments, and I am going to help you understand what worked for me. I'll see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.